What's the weirdest thing you've seen happen at a friend's house that they thought was normal?
When I was in high school, a friend asked me and two other friends to his house for dinner. His mom served homemade bean soup, which was very good. Toward the end of the main course, she brought out chocolate cake for dessert. She cut each of us a slice and plopped it into our bowls, in which we each still had about an inch of soup. Us guests exchanged puzzled glances, but the family dug right in, so apparently chocolate cake soaked in bean soup was an ordinary thing for them.
My childhood best friend lived with his grandparents. His grandfather was a clockmaker. He mostly restored them. Their large two-story house's walls were covered in old restored grandfather and cuckoo clocks. Each one had a small sticker with a number so he could keep track of them all. The highest number I saw was over 700. I would say 25% of them were wounds, so every hour you were treated to a symphony of clocks. I didn't appreciate it when I was a kid, but those clocks were fantastic pieces of workmanship.
When I was like 10 or 11, a new kid moved into our town and started at our school. I was always super nice to new kids because I moved a bit and changed schools a bit. I knew how hard it was. We made friends and he had me over for a sleepover. He decided to show me a Polaroid picture of his mother having sex with a dog. I was just like, WTF dude, let's play Nintendo.
This happened when I was like 6. I needed to use the bathroom at a friend's house and he led me to his parents' bathroom. The place was filled with crap of all sorts. Boxes, magazines, an inflatable pool, lots of other stuff. You could barely get in there. He pulled out a drawer from the installed cabinet by the entryway and said to pee in there. I thought he was joking until he went ahead and peed in there himself. I couldn't argue with that, so I too peed right in there. Then he shut the drawer and we went and played more Ninja Turtles. I have no idea what became of that drawer/house/family.
Rich friend's family had rooms not touched in weeks that had vomit on the bedsheets from one of their parties.
Someone was in the bathroom, so the kid who lived there went into the back garden, took a beep in the flower bed and shoveled dirt on top of it. The bathroom was free by the time he'd finished.
When I was a kid, the neighbor's TV was always at 75% volume or higher. They'd literally sit in the living room and scream at each other over the TV on blast.
Saw my friend spit in her house, straight onto the carpet. I didn't go back.
One time I was at my friend's house while his dad was working late. His mom brought home 2 Little Caesars pizzas for us, his brother and his parents. By the time his dad got home from work, there was no pizza. So his dad just made himself a salad for dinner and no one got screamed at until they cried. Edit, well beep, I didn't see this coming.
I have an opposite one because I had the weird family. In high school I had a sleepover and one friend went to the kitchen in the middle of the night and saw my dad inebriated, in his underwear and stained shirt, on his knees in front of the fridge drinking mustard out of the bottle. Monday rolls around and the rumors have spread and I was like, wait. All your dads don't do that too? Lol, by the way, he did in fact have his own separate mustard bottle.
Friend's amputee grandpa demanded to watch everyone in the bathroom when they went. He had a mirror so he could watch you. When I didn't fall for that, they put shampoo in my hair so I'd have to take a shower. Knocked the F out and called my mum. Friend didn't think it was odd. Edit, lol 3 wholesome awards? Thanks. Edit, I think my FAQ edit didn't save. 1. Did I tell my mum? No, I did not. I felt embarrassed about it. 2. Who put the shampoo in my hair? My friend did. 3. I am a woman. And here's some random information. I remember my friend's dad having to piss with the door open so that grandpa could watch him do it. I also remember the grandpa pissing into a jug in front of everyone. I also remember crying and saying I wanted to go home and they wouldn't let me call my mum, so I kept crying until they finally gave in.
I had a friend in high school whose mother was from Jamaica. His family would cleanse together every year. I guess it was customary from his mom's culture. So literally they'd take medicine to make themselves beep their brains out for a day or 2 every year. Notable mention, they only had 1 bathroom.
X5? Amount of smoke alarm battery warning beeps, all going off every 10 minutes. No need to replace the batteries. Just get used to the beeps going off randomly, and then sometimes all at the same time. How do you live, or even sleep with that happening?
A neighbor's dad was an avid fisherman and he would use these electrode things in the lawn to get worms to come up that he was going to use as bait. He would also eat some of the first ones to come up to check if they tasted right. If not, he would remove the electrodes and try again another day.
Serve ice cream with their hands.
When I was 9 or 10, I stayed at this friend's house for the first time. So we were sitting at the kitchen table eating noodles and his mom said something, to which he screamed back at her, "Get beep, Sharon." She didn't even bat an eyelid, didn't even care. I couldn't help thinking what would happen if I tried that at home. It would have been at least an ass whooping.
My friend had 9 siblings. Whenever I was there and we ate, he always told me to protect my food. He literally covered his plate by surrounding it with his arms. His brothers kept stealing food from the younger ones and their parents didn't do anything to stop them. It was just normal. Edit, my friend grew up in rural Canada and is in his 20s.
Everyone took their shirts off at the dinner table. Yeah.
A roughly 4 feet long python roaming free around the room at a gathering with guests. Sneck was chill as beep but still.
His mom walking around topless barking a chore list while we just sat around the coffee table working on homework. She was a single mom working multiple jobs. They were latchkey kids. They didn't even bat an eyelash, but the minute she saw a new face sitting on the rug boring a hole into the distant wall, she shifted on a dime. Ducked into the mudroom, threw on her bra and work shirt, and brought out a carton of Oreos from a secret stash and was pretty much shocked into silence. I think she was terrified I'd misappropriate it to my parents, but all we cared about was cookies.
My friend got backhanded across his kitchen. He slid across the floor to me. After about a 5 count, he got up and we went and played chess.
Jesus. This thread is, eat hot dogs with ranch, or, openly molested by family members, with nothing in between.
My friend's mom always gave me a box of food when I came over. One day as I left, she just handed me a box of Hot Pockets. As if it was just a small trinket.
In 6th grade, I would go over to my friend's house. Her mom was very sexual. She would hardcore make out with her boyfriend on the couch in front of us kids. She once showed me a picture of a basketball team and said she dated every one of the men in that photo. The worst part is how she would rub her fingers against their little Yorkie's penis and say, "Do you like your willy dilly rubbed?" Goddamn you up for unlocking this memory.
Mountain Dew with pancakes for breakfast. The kids had Fritos for teeth.
Went to my friend's house after a high school exam. Walked in and his dad and stepdad were playing sorry, while smoking cigars, and his mom was making out with some random dude on the couch. She gave us $20 and told us to go get a couple large pizzas and come back. I don't know what was weirder, that my friend was like, "It's not even my dad's week with me," all incredulous, or when we got back that his dad and makeout dude was gone. Table all set for pizza, and his stepdad and mom acted like it was just a normal Wednesday.
Went to a friend's house that had dog beep all over the floor. Roaches by the thousand, including dead in the microwave and freezer. And to make matters worse, they had a healthy dose of bedbugs too. His excuse was he's busy from working all day. This guy was a hairstylist too. Yikes.
Went to friend's house as a kid. Sitting at the dining table for lunch. House phone rings. Everyone falls to the floor around me, including the mum and dad. I'm the only one left sitting there. The dad informs me that I now must answer the phone. "Hello, Johnson's house." I hold the phone out to the dad. It's for you." Everyone laughs. I am so uncomfortable. The next time that phone rang, I was the fastest to the floor, I can tell you that. Such a fun-loving family. Loved going around there.
One of the first times I met my husband's family, I was over at their house and husband gestured for me to sit down and be comfortable. Their house was really very cluttered. Not quite hoarder cluttered, but close. They had a couple of couches facing each other and then some other chairs. Not knowing the rules, I sat on one of the couches, which had a lot of stuffed teddy bears on it. OMG, you would think I had sat down on live bears. There were probably 20 to 30 small, medium stuffed bears on this couch. Husband's mother and twin brother both visibly reacted as if I had damaged the bears. Not antique bears either. That was when I was told that the couch was for the bears, and only for the bears, and that no one was allowed to sit on the bears' couch. Just the bears. The bears all had little beaded necklaces with their names on them to tell them apart because they were all the same brand and style.
I didn't see this happen, thank beep God, but here's the story. I had recently moved to a new town before my freshman year, little beephole in KS, and made a few good acquaintances, but was still learning who's interesting and who isn't, etc. This one kid, I honestly don't remember his name, seemed cool. He was into video games and stuff. We hit it off, ended up hanging out at school off and on, etc. So, one day, he asks if I want to come over after school, and I couldn't for some reason, probably work. I don't remember. He says to me, "That's fine. I'm sure my neighbor will come over and we'll end up watching movies and jerking off anyway." I laughed, thinking he was being facetious or whatever, but he doesn't laugh. Does not laugh. Looks at me and turns his head a bit. I'm serious. My dad's friend comes over and we watch movies and jerk off. I thought you might want to. Single quote. I did not continue the conversation. I never spoke to him again, and I also never said a thing about it to anyone. Looking back, I wish I had. Pretty sure that dude was being molested, and looking back and knowing what I know now, the fact that he was so matter of fact about it, I'd bet money he had been molested most of his life. Beep terrible.
A toddler drinking a wine cooler. The whole family was beep up, but that stuck out to me for obvious reasons. I was only 18 at a party, drinking underage, and had no idea what to do when I saw that. I made a comment about how little kids probably shouldn't drink alcohol, but the kid's mom got scary defensive about it.
I was maybe 12 and visiting a friend who lived deep in the woods for the first time. They had 2 outdoor dogs, and one got free and ran over and attacked the other. The dog that got bit was quite a bit smaller and was definitely injured. My friend's dad came out with a pistol and shot both dogs. It changed my life forever. I was raised in a house where dogs are family. My friend and his family didn't seem fazed at all. Edit. This really took off, so I guess I can elaborate a little more. This happened around 1994. I grew up in an extremely rural town, so when I say my friend lived deep in the woods, I'm talking like they were completely off the grid backwoods. One of the dogs was my friend's and the other was his sister's. They were chained up outside 24/7 and just not treated as pets at all. I believe the logic behind the shooting was that the sister's dog was too injured to recover, and my friend's dog had killed his sister's dog. So it was only fair to shoot them both. About 30 minutes after the whole thing happened, we all ate dinner together like nothing happened. My parents picked me up shortly after, and I cried the entire way home. We only hung out at my house after that.
When I was like 10, I had a friend that had a room that was just filled to the ceiling with trash and they just started playing in it and beat.
Slept over at a friend's when I was around 10. She was the only girl in her family, and had 5 brothers, whose ages ranged from like 4 to 15. Everything about my friend's room, sleeping situation was normal. But her brother's room was bizarre. They shared one big room, with 3 bunk beds. Each mattress a fitted sheet, a pillow, and nothing else. No top sheets, no blankets, no comforters. Also, the boys didn't have pajamas. They all just slept in the clothes they had worn that day, with their shirts tucked into their pants, and belts on, too. Their room didn't have a door, and neither did their connected bathroom or their closets. Turns out they were fundamentalist Christians, and the boys' setup was meant to prevent masturbation.
I saw the mom of my friend laying on the couch and her other son was petting her women bits with his foot. And it wasn't the right kind of playful. It was very sexual and the look on both of their face was like right before a porn movie. My friend and I were right there and nobody batted an eye. In fact, she started to give me the same look. Me and my friend were 15 and his younger brother 11.
I'll be the weird family, although this doesn't quite fit the normal, since no one thought it was normal. I was about 12 or 13 and I had a huge zit on my ass that was incredibly painful and it was deep under the skin. I couldn't pop it no matter what, and in my extreme pain sitting down I asked my dad to pop it. He said all right and I took down my pants and bent over. My dad then put on gloves to pop the zit. Anyway, in the middle of all this my sister's friend, girl, at 10 or 11 walks in on us at full speed as we were behind a wall that connects the hall sector to the living room, so she was real close. She gasps and walks out of the room. Yeah, there we go.
6th grade. Sit down at the dinner table with friend, his dad, mom, bro, and sis. Dad just casually put some hardcore porn on their big screen TV, when nobody had one really and they were enormous, while we're all just eating dinner. Doesn't skip a beat as he goes right back to his plate. That friend is now famous. Edit, I didn't grow up in my current city.
Kinda the opposite. Had a friend over when my dad went on a tirade screaming and yelling at my brother and I. We thought it was normal to have emotionally abusive parents. After that, that friend never came over again. I went to his house. And his parents seemed a bit more interested in me. By the time we graduated high school, I got my diploma and walked over to hug his parents before my own at the ceremony.
Not my friend, but her ex-boyfriend. He and his mom were very touchy to a point that it made everyone highly uncomfortable. His mom hated my friend and made a point to be touching her son constantly. I even watched him to try and kiss his mom on the lips in front of everyone, and on another occasion, she pulled him into her lap. He was 17.
Dad was cooking meth in the attic. He was a scientist, and these were his science experiments. My friend and his older sibling thought nothing was strange about this. I was 13 and knew it was a meth lab right away from the smell, cat piss. They taught us that neat fact in the DARE classes in school.
I shared a house with a bunch of people who regularly set their farts on fire. I don't know why. They just did. Even when they were not drunk. This appeared to be normal behavior for them.
I had a friend when I was 13 to 14 whose family didn't speak at all when they ate dinner. The first time I ate there, I tried to make conversation and got a super weird glare and shake of the head from the mom. After dinner was done, everyone would just go back to doing whatever. I remember thinking at the time while I ate in awkward silence, why would anyone want to eat like this every day? I come from a family of 8 where dinners were chaos, so maybe I was conditioned too far the other way.
When I was younger, I was best friends with 2 brothers from Jamaica. One of the days they asked me to stay over so we could play some Atari after we finished playing outside. We came home 12 minutes after their curfew, so their dad, who was extremely calm, told us to sit in the living room. I sat in there with my 2 friends and they were super quiet, which was a bit weird until their dad walked in with a belt and beat the living beep out of them. I beat myself, not literally, because I thought I was in for a beating, but he didn't hit me, which was a huge relief. After the beating, their dad, asked if I would like some carrot juice while my friends just went back to normal and set up their Atari like nothing happened. I was sat on the sofa wondering what the beep just went on.
In second grade, my friend's parents were separating, and the dad kept screaming at his wife through the phone. The kids acted like it was normal, but I was freaked out. I'd seen parents argue but not lose all respect for each other. My mom told me the next day that I was to call her if that happened again. She thought it close to becoming a domestic incident.
Not scooping cat litter. I mean, I'm sure it eventually got scooped, but rarely. Their house always stank, but they didn't seem to notice.
Dude had a carpeted bathroom. Already beep up. Dude had beep mushrooms growing out of the carpet. By God, my inbox, bro.
They had a huge outside trash can in their kitchen.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to subscribe to Upvote for the best quality content every day.